Hey, what's going on guys? Bailey here and welcome back to another Saints Row video, and I hope you are all doing well. So, new gameplay for Saints Row has been released, this time showcasing and providing us with details on the different criminal ventures that we'll be able to participate in that will help us grow our criminal empire from scratch. The gameplay trailer covering criminal ventures showed us a ton of organized crime operations in Santa Aleso that the player can complete to help grow the Saints. So in today's video, I want to break down and discuss the entire new gameplay of the criminal ventures for Saints Row and provide you guys with everything you need to know. So I hope you do enjoy this video guys, and if you do, don't forget to leave a like and be sure to subscribe to see more Saints Row videos from me in the future. So let's get into these details. So just as a heads up, before we start to break down any of this gameplay, there is a lot for us to cover. The gameplay trailer is only 2 minutes long, but there is so much shown that we need to take a look at, which I can't wait for. So the gameplay trailer for Criminal Ventures kicks off showing us the boss, Nina, Kevin, and Eli in a parking lot. This brief cutscene that we are seeing here seems to be a cutscene for one of the opening story missions, Making Rent, which we covered in one of our previous videos. We can tell this as from the Making Rent story mission gameplay that we got to see, Kevin was driving a blue car, Nina was driving a red car, and the boss and Eli were driving a stolen yellow car. This brief look at this cutscene seems to be the point in the Making Rent story mission where the crew arrive at the loan office, which they are planning to rob. Moving on to the next piece of footage that we get to see, shows us Kevin, Nina, and Eli. From wherever this is in the story, this is where the crew have started the Saints. We can tell this as all of the characters are sporting the famous purple Saints faction colour. Nina is wearing a Saints jacket and Eli is sporting purple on his jacket. We can't tell much from this as the crew are just surrounding a laptop, but we can definitely say they are planning their next big criminal move. After this, we see the characters once again surrounding a table which has a map of Santa Aleso on it. The camera then switches and shows us our first official look of the map for Saints Row that we will be exploring and causing mayhem in. Looking at the map, we can see all of the districts in the city of Santa Aleso. We have Lakeshore in the top left hand corner, which consists of Velasco Bay, Museum of Santa Aleso, and Shinensky Park and Marshall Tower. Below this we have Santorium Flats, which have the Smelter Dome and Mika Mall. Next to the Santorium Flats district we have El Dorado, which has the Stand, Santa Aleso 66, Bikini Atoll Casino, and the Calico Queen. In the bottom right hand side of the map we have Mikado and Smelterville, which consists of Scorpion Plant and I think the Panther Juice Factory. Next to these districts we have Rancho Providencia, which includes the Panther Rock. We also know that Rancho Providencia is home to the Los Pantoras faction. Above Rancho Providencia we have Old Town, which consists of Fort Cullen, Mika Square, and Country Fair Grounds. At the top of the map we have Marina del Lago, which includes, I'm probably going to butcher this name, but Viago Parnisa La Caleria, I think. Then the final district we see is Monte Vista, which consists of a country club and the Santa Aleso San. In the middle of the map we have Lake Sebastian and New Birmingham Island, along with the Padilla Bridge. It seems as though all of the locations on the map that is marked with an icon, such as Marshall Tower, Smelter Dome, and Padilla Bridge, are all tourist attractions for Santa Aleso, and I would guess that they will all play important roles for some of the main story missions. After having a good look at the map, we can see the Saints surrounding the table looking at the map. It seems this is the start of when the Saints are planning their criminal empire in the story. Following on from this, we can see the player entering this hot dog truck and then driving it, which is associated with the food truck drug business criminal venture called Shallop Cabra, in which you sell food but also some drugs on the side to earn money. Next we get a good look at the Santa Aleso sign, which is very similar and representative of the famous Hollywood sign located in LA. After this we see the player walking up to the table and interacting with the map that we saw earlier. Once the player interacts with the map, we get a good look at the Criminal Ventures interaction screen. So at the top of this interaction screen we have our Empire tier, which is currently level 3. It seems in order to level up our Empire tier, we need to build more criminal ventures, and then complete the activities associated with them to fill up the Empire tier meter next to this. In the top right hand corner we have our hourly income, which is currently $2,250, and our available funds, which is $152,700. This will be an indication for the player to tell us how much we are making from our current criminal ventures and how much money we have to purchase further criminal ventures. So on the left we have a list of all the criminal ventures available. We have Bright Future, Chalub Cabra, Cutting Edge, Eureka Beta, Cat's Radio, Laundromat, the big one, and the Wuzz's Repo. The rest of the criminal ventures on this listing are currently locked, as the player hasn't progressed enough in the story yet. To purchase this criminal venture, it'll cost the player $25,000. We also have some description for this criminal venture, and it says the following: cheat big corporations by dumping their toxic waste illegally. We also get to see the Chalub Cabra criminal venture, which is also $25,000, and we also have a description for this too, which says 4 food trucks control the drug trade in Santa Aleso. Steal the trucks to take their turf and build your own empire. Each criminal venture will offer its own unique gameplay and task the player of doing all sorts of missions to make money to help grow the Saints empire. The next footage we see sees Eli writing on this whiteboard of what does a criminal empire need. Some of Eli's bullet points are name, logo, and place that's not our apartment. We all know the answers to the questions, as the name the crew call themselves is the 3rd Street Saints, the logo is a fleur-de-lis, and the place that's not our apartment is the church. Following on from this topic, we see the boss standing in this building, which appears to be a church, with the crew following behind and dead idol members on the benches. The camera slowly pans into the boss's face, and then we get to see this art of a religious figure on a wall. Some of the colors used in this wall art are blue and purple. This must be where the boss is inspired to form the Saints and to use this color scheme for the gang. Next on from this, we get a brief look at the properties which are for sale, but it doesn't tell us much. However, this suggests that these properties you are seeing here are ones that the player can purchase to set up their criminal ventures. Following on from this, we have a brief look at Nina putting this figurine on the map, and Kevin does the same. This must be a brief cutscene we get when we purchase a new criminal venture. In this cutscene, the player seems to have purchased a property near Padilla Bridge and in Mikado. Next up, we have the player tackling some of the activities involved in the criminal venture jobs. In this piece of gameplay, we have the player in a suit wearing a mask, which seems to be related to the criminal venture Let's Pretend. The Let's Pretend criminal venture tasks the player with gathering a crew to pull off heists. To do a heist, you'll need to scope out the location for the heist, perform the heist, and then service a getaway vehicle for your escape. This next shot shows us Wuzzvers, which is a maximum security repossession lot. This criminal venture seems to have the player tasked with repossessing vehicles and then having to deliver this vehicle to the lot while also being chased down by some angry car owners. After this, we just have a random piece of gameplay that does not seem to be connected to any of the criminal ventures. Here we just have the player using the police shotgun, it looks like, to take down these SWAT enemies. Jumping onto our next shot, we have the Bright Future Disposal Facility, which is another criminal venture the player can purchase. In this shot, we get to see a bunch of characters in hazmat suits, this self-crafted bridge, and a nice glowing green pool of toxic slime. This criminal venture has the player tasked with illegally dumping companies' toxic waste. In the gameplay that follows from this shot, we had the player jumping into the vehicle using the cool entering animation that we've seen in previous Saints Row games. Then we also get to see the truck we will be driving with the toxic waste in the back, which we will need to deliver. The gameplay cuts again, and this time we can see the truck we are driving has lost some of its toxic waste and the vehicle seems a lot more damaged. I'm not too sure if the vehicle is more damaged now because of the toxic waste we have lost and some of the canisters have opened and eroded the vehicle, but we can't really tell. It would seem in order for the player to successfully complete this criminal venture, we will need to make sure that all of the toxic waste is delivered to the Bright Future Disposal Facility in the time limit provided. Next up, we have the Let's Pretend criminal venture. As mentioned previously, this criminal venture will task the player with gathering a crew to pull off heists. From this shot of gameplay, we get to see the building of Let's Pretend, and we've got these two crazy looking monster statues on top of the building. If you played previous Saints Row games, you'll know that Let's Pretend is also a clothing store which you can purchase novelty costumes from. In some previous Saints Row games, Let's Pretend usually has some of the best clothing to customize your character with, but we will have to wait to see more to say if the clothing in this store will be just as good. The next shot we see here is the player walking up to this character wearing a mask. I think for us to start the heist connected to the Let's Pretend criminal venture, we will need to speak to this character as the mission activation point. Following on from this, we have the character now using their camera to scope out an area for a heist. It seems for us to scope out an area for a heist, we need to at least find the 5 points of interest to meet the task request. With the camera, we can take pictures, clear HUD, and zoom in and out. I wonder if we will be able to use the camera outside of the heist gameplay and use the camera to capture some of our best moments in the game, or just for some random pictures. Then next we have the player escaping the police after performing a heist, and it seems they are very aggressive and definitely wanting to stop us. As I have said previously, the animations in this game are not realistic at all, and they never really have been in the Saints Row games. Saints Row has always been about having fun and not taking things too seriously. These animations are just part of the Saints Row game design, and it makes the gameplay different and more unique. Then lastly, we have our last look at another criminal venture, which is Shady Oaks. Shady Oaks is pretty much insurance fraud, which is one of the funniest side activities in previous Saints Row games. If you've not played insurance fraud, this side activity basically requires you to do as much damage to your character to gain more money to meet the completion requirements. The reason why insurance fraud is so fun is because the game activates this ridiculous ragdoll feature to your character, which makes your character basically fly when they've only been tapped by a car driving at them. This can also be seen by the gameplay you're seeing right now. The player runs at this vehicle and is hit, but the vehicle instantly explodes and the character is sent flying into the air. The character then lands into another car, which once again instantly explodes and causes the vehicle behind it to do the same. Then after seeing the criminal venture gameplay, the trailer gameplay then shows us another cutscene which is related to the make and rent mission. It would seem from this cutscene that this is the moment in that mission where the crew are running into the loan office to rob it. The boss is equipped with a pistol and Eli is following behind with a duffel bag to load up with some cash. Then we get to see Eli with the safe open, taking all the cash from the safe and putting it into the duffel bag we saw him carrying. Following on from this, we now get a lot of gameplay shots that don't last too long, but they are worth going over. This shot we are seeing here shows us that the player has purchased a criminal venture in Fairgrounds. This can be shown as a figurine similar to the ones before, placed on an area of the map which is indicated a criminal venture has been purchased. We then have Jim Rob's, which is a service garage. This is probably where the player can visit to upgrade and customize their vehicles. Next, we have the player hijacking a car and easily throwing this guy out like it was nothing. Then we have this outdoor self-made military camp with its own lookout tower. I don't know if this is connected to a criminal venture or if it's just an area in the map that you can visit, but it does look cool. You've got the military tents, sandbags, ammo crates, and trenches too. We have some explosive gameplay of the player using the RPG and blowing up some vehicles. Then we have some more off-road buggy driving gameplay in the desert region that we have seen previously. Following on from this, we have the player using a helicopter with a car attached to it, which looks super fun. I hope that we can do this with most vehicles when piloting a helicopter, because it would make for some interesting and fun gameplay moments. In this piece of gameplay too, we can see that the idols are attacking the helicopter and throwing some of their colourful and vibrant grenades at us. Next, we have a nice shot of the city from the El Dorado district. We can see Lakeshore in the background and also Padilla Bridge. Then we have the player driving this vehicle and making a quick turn. Next, we have a shot of this new clothing store called Cutting Edge. The store has a futuristic theme to it, so I am guessing that the clothing we can purchase here will focus on futuristic clothing. I'm interested in seeing what is available in the store because it does look really cool. Then we have another look at the Bright Future Disposal criminal venture and some of its gameplay of delivering the toxic waste. We have a shot here of a yellow van which says on the back, totally legitimate laundry service, which looks definitely not suspicious at all. We do have characters surrounding this van wearing white overalls with blood all over them. Then also the other vehicle parked up is covered in bullet holes on its side. I think it's highly likely that this shot of gameplay is connected to the Criminal Venture laundromat, which we got to see before during the Criminal Venture interaction menu. At this point, the gameplay trailer speeds up even faster and we start to get a lot of fast shots of gameplay. We have the player using this monster truck sporting the purple Saints theme color to drive over this car. We get to see another look at that self-made military base we saw earlier. Then we have the player taking down some enemies, but it is difficult to say what type of enemies these are because of the lighting. Then another look at the hot dog truck and it driving, which is connected to a Criminal Venture activity. We get to see the player driving a different type of off-road buggy in the desert region here, which seems to be heavily customized with many upgrades as it looks really new and completely different to the other one we've seen so far. Then we get to see more of the vehicle possession Criminal Venture again, of the player towing this vehicle away and driving at high speed. Then another shot of the player fighting enemies. This time it is idols and they're throwing more of their colourful and vibrant grenades. We have the player using a takedown on this SWAT enemy. Then finally we have a player on top of a vehicle which is currently driving and the player jumping off and activating their wingsuit. This is a super cool and awesome feature that you can use the wingsuit by just jumping off a moving vehicle. This will definitely make for some really fantastic gameplay moments, especially doing this in co-op with a friend. When the player does this too, they do get a lot of air and usage of the wingsuit, which is really nice to see too. So that was all of the new details and a breakdown of all the new features that were in the Criminal Ventures gameplay trailer. There was a lot of gameplay to cover as there were so many new gameplay features that we have not seen before. I'm really liking the look and the system of these Criminal Ventures. So what did you think of the Criminal Ventures? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? What would you change? What Criminal Ventures would you like to see? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts and to get a nice discussion going, which I'll be sure to jump in on. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. Also, if you do enjoy content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click on the bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget that you can check me out streaming over on Twitch during the week, and you can find a link to my channel in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.